So we'll start that. All right, here we go. All right, so this is what we started last week, which was a lot of fun, and people kind of got to share a little bit about themselves, kind of get to know you. The topic last week was connection and connecting, not only obviously with your customers, but connecting with your fellow wine brothers and sisters. So, Sally, were you on last week?
I wasn't. I had family visiting from out of town.
All right, so we're going to start with you, Sally. So you see the questions on the screen?
The what's your story questions? Yeah.
Just go. Just start reading.
So, hi, my name's Sally. I started in September of 2018, so this month is my wine-iversary. I am a team leader. How big is my team? That are actually doing stuff.
How many bodies?
How many bodies?
It's easier to figure that out.
There's like 4, but there's only 1 currently active.
Okay.
I live in Bishop, California. I am married with 3 kids and 2 grandkids and another grandbaby on the way. And my JOB job is I currently work as a department lead for a local grocery chain for 2 departments that I run for them. And favorite thing you do beyond what? What's that say under there?
I'll shrink that. Hold on, let me move this. There you go. Okay.
Oh, beyond spending time with your family or wine. Well, heck. I work and I spend time with my family and I sell wine. But I like to read.
Okay.
And what else do I do? That's mainly family stuff. We camp and we ride horses. We do a lot of outdoorsy. We're outdoorsy sort of people.
This is about you. So you like to read.
I like to read. That's for me time. I read probably.
Okay.
Or go for walks. That's the other thing I like to do.
Okay.
Why wine shop at home in 3 words? Fun, freedom, and friends. How's that for alliteration?
Fun, freedom, and friends. Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Cheers.
We're gonna go to the next. I see Kristen Linda next.
Go for it.
Okay, so my name's Linda McGarvey. I started November 30th, 2017.
That's my birthday.
Is it? It's my mom's birthday too. Oh my gosh. I'm a team leader. I have 1 active person. I live in Boise, Idaho. I have a husband and 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. My other job is I am a transformational coach. My favorite thing to do is, besides family and wine, is probably also reading. And wine shop at home in 3 words: wine, wine, and wine.
Oh.
Or good wine, always.
Wine. All right.
Wine. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Kristen.
All right. So I'm Kristen Rife, and I started in March of 2009. So let's see. My title right now is group leader. Highest I've hit is director. And then so my team right now, good, I haven't looked at it, over 100 something.
I just sent you a report that has all that information on it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
100. Then tell me what I have.
I don't have it in front of me. 100 and something. Okay, go ahead.
100 and something.
Okay.
All right, and I live now in Boise, but I moved from Washington, so I did 6 years of my business in Washington State. So I live in Boise, Idaho. We have an 18-year-old, so an adult living in our home, which is crazy, and he's a senior this year. And then we have a 13-year-old, so 2 boys. And my husband, I'm married. We'll be having our 20th year anniversary in October next month.
Wow.
So I know, wow, tell me about it. Sorry, Dave. I don't have another job. I actually started this business though as an esthetician, did that for 17 years and decided to do this full time because when I left Washington State, I lost 17 years of clients. So I didn't want to start that over, and I've been doing this full time now. My favorite thing to do, honestly, being new to this area, besides hanging out with my family, I just really enjoy the wine and hanging out with friends, new friends. And I love to organize. I love to organize. I know that sounds so weird, but when it's like, I just love cleaning through things and organizing and just kind of.
I'm flying you out to my house.
Yeah.
If you walk into my office, I think you would probably have a coronary.
Yeah, well, I have a coronary in my own office, so I probably would with yours because I keep this pretty darn
I
buttoned
think
up.
it's easier with someone else because you just want to throw all their shit away. Probably. You don't need this. You don't need this.
Absolutely. Why wine shop and home? Well, I was asking myself that the other day. I mean, honestly, 10 years. I mean, what the heck keeps somebody in for 10 years? I have to say, this is my family. This is my chosen family. Shh, be quiet. No, I love my family, but this is my chosen family. I love connecting with everybody in this company. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. I love the connections in this company, friends that we choose, and I would definitely say the flexibility because I have a very busy. We all have busy lives, right? And I hate the word busy, but I do. We have both of our boys are special needs, and so it takes a lot of time. And so it's very good that I can work this flexibly, and I of course love the wine. And my team. I mean, there's so many. How do you say that in 3 words?
You can.
Really? How do you say that in 3 words?
Family, flexibility, wine. I got you.
There we go.
All right. Cindy, you were not on last week. Unmute yourself.
So there's some background noise. Can you guys hear me okay though?
You're good.
Okay. So my name is Cindy Strong. I started this year, February 13th was my start date. I'm a team leader. I have 10 people on my team. That's, I think,
That's awesome.
five that I have recruited, and then, my recruits. I have 2 new people in Oklahoma that are down line for me, so that's kind of cool. And I currently live in Lakeport, California, which is up above the Napa Valley, a couple of hours above the Napa Valley. But as of the 23rd of this month, I will be moving to Oregon, Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
And, I will be living there full time with my adult children. That we're all going to be living in the same house.
Yay.
I absolutely love them. I miss them so much. They've been up there for about 6-7 years, and I've just been trying to figure out a way to get there. So I'm just going.
There you go.
I was a hairdresser for 38 years. I loved my job, but my feet and hips gave out on me. So that was my other job. So right now, I'm an insurance agent. I sell auto, home insurance for farmers, but I don't think I'm going to do that when I move up to Oregon. Because it's not my thing. I think I'm going to try to do wine shop full time because when I found this, I couldn't believe that I could actually, drink wine and make money at it. So I was super excited. And I think my favorite thing to do besides spend time with my family and friends is I love to travel. I love to go places, see new things. So absolutely love it. It's something I like to plan to do all the time. And why wine shop in 3 words? I think my first why when I started was definitely money. I couldn't believe I could make money drinking wine and hanging out with people and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. And I love meeting new people, and friends mean a lot to me. And I absolutely love the wine. It's like the best wine I've ever drank in my life. So I guess that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Cindy.
Mhm.
Yay. Last week, Donna had shared how she likes to paint wine glasses, and I saw you just posted them, the pictures. So after the call, you go to the wine therapy, and you can see the wine glasses that she paints. I just saw you must have done it right before the call because it
I
popped.
did, yeah. And I don't always remember to take pictures. And I really should have my host hold the glass after I give them to her, and take the picture then. But yeah, I have to remember to take pictures all the time.
Yeah, you got to social media that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
they're so pretty. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for posting that. So you guys have to.
Welcome.
And Kelly was on last week, so she shared. So all
And
right.
it wasn't recorded, so we didn't get to hear it.
No, it was last week was.
Last.
Yes.
Oh God, I missed
The week before. It was. It was.
Okay, it was one before that.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, the week before I forgot. No,
Yeah, last week it was a good call, so you guys should definitely go back.
I have got to go on and listen to it. I thought it was not recorded. Sorry.
You're funny. All right.
I'm not.
All right. So now we're gonna do some stuff. All right. So what I want to do, I'm going to kind of go over some stuff, and I want to make it interactive. I'll talk to you about some stuff. This is actually interesting. I found a training, like as I search for stuff, for trainings and stuff for other direct sales or other type of motivational things or other types of businesses, more entrepreneurial. And this is really good. And this girl was talking about kind of some 3 key things. And I thought this is probably good to talk about too. I know our focus is recruiting. We'll talk about the challenge here at the end of it, but I really liked some of the things that she was saying. So I'm just going to bullet point some things, and I thought we could have some interaction during them. I have questions. I love this quote, those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. I've seen it, those at the top of the mountain, the women at the top. I've seen it, so many different ways. I actually had found this and had sent the quote to Lauren, and I asked her to like wine shop stuff. So it has the wine shop logo on the bottom, and you should be able to find them, but I can post them too. So I just really love that. I think I posted it yesterday on my Instagram, and then that floats to my Facebook, but it's such a true statement. Obviously it's usually pretty purposeful when you're trying to get somewhere and focusing on something and you're working towards it. Like if you are working towards a promotion or a bonus gate or even a trip or whatever it might be, it's usually purposeful. It's not usually accidental. I would give team leader sometimes could be accidental because it's really is a simple level in a sense where you just have to have the 3 people. You can kind of take care of the volume. So sometimes you'll see accidental promotions, but we're going to talk a little bit about that too as we're going through some slides. And one thing I added, this girl didn't talk about it, but it actually kind of came from a conversation I was having with Pat. And it's kind of like recipe for disaster and things that can really hurt your business. So I'll be interested to see what you think about that. Sometimes I get on a little roll, but let's first talk about this. So the call I said I was listening to, it was a training call this girl did. It was the most successful people. And she went over, obviously, and this is more mindset, and we've talked about this, is treat it like a business. You're going to get paid like a business. I think that's common sense. If you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby or spend it like a hobby. So a lot of times, we're talking about, we love it because of the wine. Well, what does that mean? Is that because you want the discount on the wine? You just like the wine? Like sometimes when that's the only kind of focus on the business, that can, I think, hold you back too. So I wanted to kind of talk about this because people that or consultants that get on calls like that, usually the intent is that you want it to be more like a business. So to you, what is the difference? So if it's a business or it's a hobby, what would be the difference for you?
I'll start.
Yeah.
So a business is something you do with intention and you set aside time for it and you schedule it and you have a plan. At least for me, that's how it is. And a hobby is something that when you have time, you do it, and it might not be as regular, or you might make time for it, but you're not going to be as intentional or structured with a hobby as you are a business. So on the months where I treat it like a hobby, I notice. And on the months that I treat it like a business, I notice.
I think that's
especially with my income.
Yeah. And that is, I think awareness is the biggest thing. So
Yeah.
Sometimes people will say, I don't have enough tastings on my calendar. And the very first thing I say, is it because you're choosing not to, or is it because you can't, you're struggling to? That makes a big difference. If somebody says, well, I'm just choosing not to, well, I can't do anything with that. That's your choice to not do that. I can coach through some other things. But I found, it's funny when you said that, I found this quote. It says, there is a big difference between can't and it just isn't a high priority. And that can be the difference sometimes between a hobby and a business. So this is more self-reflection for you to kind of think, how do I really view my business? What is it to me? Because that can make all the difference in the world as you're growing your business. So I thought that was obviously a super valid point, of course. Let's see, I got to move my screen. Okay. So again, it's kind of self-reflection and really think about it. And this will be kind of part of what I want you to do this week is really think and work your business with intention, or really focus on why you're not working your business with intention. And I think that's not a bad or a good thing. I think that, like I said, awareness is such an important thing. But if you want it to be a hobby, you have it be a hobby, but be real with yourself that you want it to be a hobby. And if you want it to be a business, be real with yourself and say, I want this to be a business. And I love what Sally said, and work it with intention. Set up a plan and make it happen. So I think, this is self-explanatory. The most successful people are going to treat it like a business. I know things happen in our life, and like Cindy's moving, and you might have a little stopgap there for a minute till you get there. But the intention is there's probably some anxiety there. Like if I was Cindy, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm moving and I don't want to miss like tastings in the business. Like it would almost make you anxious. Like it was so important for you to get back to it. I think that's how Cindy thinks.
I actually have my first Oregon tasting. I closed on the 23rd and it's on the 25th.
There you go. That is
Good for you.
intention. That is intention. I do not want to I have to move. It's a good thing, but I don't want my business to fall through the cracks. So
anyway,
that does not surprise me though. That's awesome. I love that. So the second, successful people are coachable. So if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. So are you coachable? This is so critical, especially at the level that you guys are, and all of you are leaders or looking towards being a leader. And if you're not coachable, it's hard to coach a team too. So the first thing is you have to be coachable. And even as a leader. So I know a lot of times you've been here for a long time, like Kristen, you've been here for 10 years. If you are not coachable and you're stuck kind of in that space where I know everything, I know what I need to do, then it is harder, I truly believe, to coach your team. Because if you're not thinking kind of outside the box or being open to other things or learning new things, it's hard to be able to share those experiences with your team as well. So use the best practices from others. Oh, are you using the best practices from others before you? This is really important for a new person that you're bringing into the business, and even talking them through this. Like, are they taking advice from you? Are you taking advice from your upline? So if you're a team leader and you have leaders above you, do you take advice from me? Like things that we talk about in even the Monday night calls or here, do you take that advice and try to implement it into your business? And that is definitely a sign of being coachable and open to stuff. Best piece of advice you have received. So what is the best piece of advice you have received for your wine business? Somebody in your upline or sideline or whoever. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
I'll answer. I'll always answer if no one else was going to answer. You have to keep growing.
Okay.
I've been here 12 years, guys. Every day I listen to podcasts to grow myself as a person, as a leader. I do know a lot about the business, but this business changes. You guys, this business is not the same business that it was when I started 12 years ago. It's not even, they're like not even, they're like almost completely different. And you have to kind of be open to not just growing with the business, but also having that forward thought, which is not as easy for me, but like, hey, I heard this on a podcast and it made me think about X, Y, Z. And that made me think about Wine Shop. And hey, what if we did this? And maybe I have an idea about this. you know, you guys, our company listens to us. And, you know, not the whining and the complaining, but they do, if we have a good idea about something, they listen to us. And so, you know, if you're out there just puddling along and just, you know, doing whatever, you're not going to have that forethought and that creativity to be able to give really constructive feedback. And so for me, it's really important that I keep learning and growing, even though I feel really strongly about my skills in the business. I don't do everything really, really well. I may know what to do, but am I doing it? And then at the same time, holding myself accountable. That is not something Wine Shop can teach you. Wine Shop's not going to give you a class on holding yourself accountable. You have to do that kind of personal work yourself. And they're not going to push you to do it, and they're not going to ask you to do it, and they're not going to give you the resources to do it. You have to go find that stuff on your own. So for me, the best piece of advice that I was given is to keep growing yourself as a person and as a student of life and of business and of direct sales and of wine and all of the things that would impact our businesses.
Jacqueline had put in the chat patience. So learn patience. Everything's not going to happen overnight. Bouncing back to what Kelly said, keep growing. The biggest mistake, and I should have wrote this in your disaster area, is thinking once you promote to team leader that you have arrived, and stop. And if you stop there, it's going to just be over. Like, you have to keep basically promoting yourself and having that intent, just like you did when you initially became a team leader, in order to promote. So that, to me, even links in with the keep growing, and at any level. And Kristen mentioned this, she's a group leader now, the highest level she'd ever been as a director, right? So that's reflecting, what did I do to be a director, right? Going back and reflecting, because you can't slide backwards, but you can go back up too, to where you want to be. So that's what's kind of cool about this business, is you have that flexibility, kind of like I said, what's going on in your life, but you also have that flexibility in terms of, there is no basically glass ceiling in our compensation. Sky's the limit. You can go as far as you want to. So you can slide up and you can slide down that career plan, kind of based on what's happening. So being intent. What else? Give me like one or two more things. What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
Just being consistent.
Okay, that's a huge one.
Being consistent. And with consistency, for me, is intention, which we were talking about earlier. I've always, that's the biggest word for me, is intentional. I set my goals every day on what I'm going to do, and I'm intentional about it. But it doesn't always happen, doesn't always work out for me, but I just keep doing it whether I want to or not.
Well, that's the consistency. So what do you feel is the number one thing that you're consistent at doing?
I am consistent about following up with people that have that have said they wanted to host with me. I follow back up with them on, like, whether it's, it actually doesn't matter if it's a hosting or if it's wine club or personalized wines. It doesn't matter if they have shown some type of interest. I have a funnel that I just keep reaching out to until they tell me no. I'm offering them an opportunity. I'm never selling them on anything. I'm reaching out and I'm offering them an opportunity.
Follow up. That's huge.
Follow up.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
It's so true. So.
Well, especially with my move, I lost a lot of connections, years worth of connections. So I had to rebuild that. And I lost a lot of team members, leaders, just all sorts of connections, customers, doesn't matter. And so it's rebuilding those relationships, and that takes time. And so I get out in front of people all the time, or I message them, or I'm there, whether it be today or 3 months from now.
Right. All right. Awesome. All right. Next. Know your true why. This is, I think, so critical and important. You probably, you hear it cliche and people talk about this, the biggest thing is, like, what is going to keep you going when you have hurdles? And are you really doing the activity daily to keep you in it? So really kind of like facing your truth and why you're doing this. I love the wine too. And I wasn't a wine person before I came here, but it probably never would have If I was a field person, it wouldn't be enough to keep me in the business. Does that make sense? Like, that wine's great because you know what? I can buy that wine from Kelly. I don't necessarily have to sell that wine, and she's going to give me a discount. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to, she's like, no, just, then I'll buy it from Donna. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be something so powerful. I think it's so important, and people disconnect this all the time, or they don't rethink of like what their why is. And as you in it longer, like Kristen and Kelly, you become sticky to the business because of the people, because of the relationships, because you have respect for the company. And if stuff happens or things you don't agree with, or you have hurdles or something, it's okay, because you know you're just going to bounce over that hurdle and you're going to keep going. So there is a point where you become sticky. Like, I'm knocking on wood, I don't ever see Kristen or Kelly like leaving because of that. They're going to get, don't do that with your head. You're going to, they're going to push through stuff. So this is what we want to develop, obviously, as a company, making you kind of sticky to the company. The product will make you stick to the company because it's a good product. And if you had junk wine, you wouldn't want to sell it, right? So you have that trust and that faith in the wine, and you know it's good, and you know it's quality, and you really believe in that. And that really is the first step, I think, in a direct sales company, really having passion for the product. But I don't think it's always the only reason. There's people that do this that don't drink wine, right? Because they believe in the business side of it. They believe that wine is kind of big money. It's something income that they're able to develop too. So this is part of your homework too, and really kind of sitting down with yourself and saying, why am I doing this, and what is going to keep me here no matter what? So like Sally had mentioned, and even Linda had mentioned, we have a team, or a team leader, but I have like one active person. Okay, but that's okay. So what are you going to do to get up and just try to get more people on your team and active people? Is that a hurdle big enough to where you say, I don't want to do it, I'm going to give up? Right? So you have to think, what is going to drive me? So, and you've heard this probably a trillion times, I joined direct selling because of my daughter. I was going to work from home come hell or high water, and it was going to work. And I had to make enough money to pay my bills. And I was super intentional, and there was no way in hell that I was going to give up my direct sales business and go back to a traditional job, because my daughter was the most important thing. And that was what was going to happen. And it happened. I was super duper focused, and I knew my why, and it kept me moving and going. It has to be, I think, big like that in terms of where you're like, I'm going to stay here. But you may have people that do hobby on your team, and it may not be that big. It might be just, I'm going to pay for my wedding, and when I'm done paying for my wedding, I'm going to be good and gone, right? That's okay. But then you got to shift your why if they want to stay in it. So being intentional on why you're growing your business, or why you're even doing this, I think is just such a huge, huge thing. I know you hear it a lot, but I like to bring it up once in a while, because sometimes I think you need to reevaluate what your reasoning is for your business and what's going to keep you going. So this book, I have not read this book, but I was listening to this call and somebody recommended this. So I did get the Audible today, and I'm going to listen to it. It's called Get Over Your Damn Self. And the funniest part of that is I was talking to someone today, and they mentioned something about getting over yourself. And I laughed, because this is the book I was going to talk about tonight too, right? So this book is actually, this is a No BS blueprint to building a life-changing business. I don't know if anybody has ever read it or even heard of it. I had never heard of it before, which is interesting, because this, Rami was her name, is passionate about helping others build lucrative direct sales and network marketing businesses that help create lives with more freedom and flexibility. A lot of you said that. Greater purpose and a lot more fun. In this book, she offers you the same direct, no BS coaching she's given to tens of thousands to help you acquire the skills to build this sucker and teach your team to do the same. And equally important, she'll walk on your mindset, so you stop overcomplicating it all and stop letting the negative voices in your head win. So I'm going to listen to this. Has anybody ever heard this? Kelly, you're the bookie. No, you've never heard of this before? It's on Amazon. Like I said, I just got it on the Audible. You can buy it, I think it's like $9 or $10 or something. So I thought it would be kind of interesting if anybody, oh, Jacqueline has, okay. I think she's driving, so she probably can't unmute herself. but I thought it would be interesting if anybody wants to join me and listen to it or read it. We can even talk about it. I can bring it up on the call. But I love to find new stuff, especially people that really talk about direct selling and growing. And she probably digs into the MLM side of it too, like it says here, but that's okay. It's business with entrepreneurship. So I'm curious to see what it is. So I'm just going to put that out there if anybody wants to join me in reading this or audioing it or whatever and seeing what it's all about. So I never really give book tips. Are you going to say something, Kelly? Or are you just putting your finger?
Yeah, I don't know. My slides went away because my husband called and it messed up. But anyway, it's so funny that you say that because I literally, like, who was it? Sally was like, I like to read books. I read books and then somebody else was like, I like to read. I'm like, why don't we have some like a book club thingy? And then you were like, oh, I got this book. Who wants to read this book with me? I'm like, yes, book club. I'm all about book clubs. How many book clubs can I be in?
So hopefully it's good. It gets huge reviews. People like love this book. You can Google it and type it up and you'll hear like people just going on about how fantastic this book was. So I thought, well, I heard it in this training and let's try it and see. So this is the book. Get Over Your Damn Self, Kristen. She's like, she's like, what? No. So yes. So I think that will be fun. So if anybody wants to do that. Okay.
I need to make time to read. That's my problem.
So I got the Audible one. I can like sit here and
You know how
listen.
many Audibles I need to catch up on?
But that goes back to like what Kelly say about keep growing yourself.
Make time.
Sometimes you have to like take a break from that routine as well.
Yeah,
So you're
I
super
do.
consistent in your business. It shows obviously in all that you do in your business. You're super successful. But sometimes you need a break for yourself so you can breathe too, right? That's
Need
what
accountability for that.
okay. Well, I'll post stuff on there and
I'll put you on
and
that.
Kelly's all raising her hand. Like, I'll do it. So I just thought it would kind of be something fun and different, right? To do that. And it's specific to the direct sales world, which I really like. So we'll do it. So we'll hold everybody accountable. So anybody that wants in, I'll post a little image on the group and anybody wants in, we can do that. So something fun. So Recipe for Disaster, which sounds a little dramatic, but Pat had said something about a recipe for disaster. And this is where this kind of came from. She didn't say all these things. I'll just let you know. I was thinking at the same time. And then I put recipes for success. So it kind of makes it, but recipe for disaster. So number one, not doing a true full service checkout. I think that's the biggest disaster you could ever do. So when I look at some of the recruiting things that you guys gave back, you know, some of you that did the spreadsheet for me or sent me who it is, I have to tell you, my heart falls in my stomach when I see there was 15 people at a tasting and you only asked 4 people about the business. It literally makes me nauseous, just so you know. But you run your business how you run your business. I got to ask every single person. So doing a true full service checkout, which means asking every single person all of the questions, not setting up true recruiting interviews. So what does that mean? So what do you think a true recruiting interview is? And then I'll tell you what I mean. Anybody?
So, well, I
The
mean,
one-on-one.
yeah, one-on-one. I was waiting for somebody else to say something, but yeah, I book a time on the calendar and I pick up the phone and call them and talk with them. It's a full interview.
So
What are you talking about?
I am talking about that, but this is what you'll see, and especially say a new leader or a new consultant. They'll meet someone, they'll ask a full service checkout, are you interested in the business? And that person will say, yeah, that's great. And what do they say? I'll call you like tomorrow or the next day, or I'll call you, I'll follow up with you. They don't actually set up a time to talk to them. She's shaking her head. That's not true. That's true.
No,
Okay.
I'm saying that's not it.
That's not it. That's not
That's
it.
not a real interview. Yeah, you got to
No.
take time.
No, that's not a real interview. So setting up a real one, like with the time you're going to connect with people. So if you're sitting there and you're doing full service checkout and you have people that are like, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of thinking about this, maybe. All right, let's get together tomorrow. I have 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock available. What time works best for you? Well, I can't do tomorrow. Okay, well, how about Wednesday? Like getting a set up time the best you can. I prefer face-to-face if you can swing it. Not everybody can swing it, but really a true one. FaceTime or whatever on your phone. What's that called? Is that called FaceTime on your phone? Or whatever it might be, but really a true interview. So this is holding you accountable as you're talking to people and talking to them about obviously becoming a consultant. So a recipe for disaster is not setting up a true recruiting interview, because then they just slide away. They slide away and you can never get them back. I think these are things that I did when I was a girl. Not teaching your downline to recruit. This is actually the conversation Pat and I were having. Recipe for disaster. You cannot recruit everybody for the rest of their career. They are going to go away. They're not going to learn how to do it. And then what happens is once they become a leader, they don't know how to recruit. And then they're expected to like help their downline and they don't even know what the hell they're doing. You have to teach your downline how to recruit. And if you are in a downline and you feel like you need more solid skills on recruiting, I thought we could do maybe some sample recruiting interviews and stuff next week too, and go through that, how to talk about the business. I think it's absolutely critical to teach your downline to recruit. You do it with them, absolutely. I'm a huge component of three-way calls and getting together and stuff, but I never ever, I would not literally be sitting here right now if the woman that recruited me into my first business had not taught me how to recruit. There's no way.
If she told you to call your upline?
I just did it. She just said, yeah, find some people, bring them to me and we'll talk to them. And I would there with her and I would talk to them.
Shelly, but what I'm saying is it's kind of controversial because right now we're training as a company to send your leads to your upline. And that I don't feel is the best way to do it.
Okay, this is the tweak in the verbiage. Yes, you're going to get those leads and you are going to send them to your upline, but that doesn't mean Sally doesn't need to be on the phone with you.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? So it's taking something literal, send your leads to, your upline. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if Cindy is working at her insurance job in the middle of the day and this is the only time somebody can talk, I'm going to talk to them for sure. And that's what you do. Because I don't want that lead to go away. But she has a commitment to a job. She just can't do it. If this is the only time this person can do it, that to me is the exception. But doing it with them, I am telling you, you will have so much more strength. I think it's a recipe for disaster. If you just give me all your leads, Kelly, and I just talk to them and I go, oh, I signed this person up for you, Kelly. Oh, I signed this person up too for you. Who do they have the connection with? Me, right? Not with Kelly. I need them to they need to have a connection with me and with Kelly, right? Morco Kelly, I'm just here. So that is a recipe for disaster. So how can you do it? When you're talking to people on your team that are interested in recruiting, this is how we do it. So you're going to talk to people and then we're going to, they're interested in the business and we are going to talk to them together because I'm going to teach you how to basically talk to people about this business. I think it's critical. The number one reason I do those business opportunities every single month, it's not because of the leads they're bringing on the call. It's to help people understand how to talk about the business. I want them to hear the verbiage. I want them to hear all the different perks of the business. I want them to hear the things that they may be asked to. Somebody at a tasting might ask them a question. I want them to feel confident and comfortable in answering those questions. So that's why I do those calls, to help that obviously. So encourage it, make it your team mantra or whatever. We're teaching and we're working together. Just like you can't not call and book all their wine tastings for them. You're going to do that forever? No, it's the same thing. It's the piece of their business that is basically their right arm and left arm. So recruiting just bodies. Oh, maybe that was what Pat and I were talking. Same thing. Why would somebody do that? Why would somebody just recruit bodies? You know what I mean by this, right?
A lot of times people do it because they don't know better.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of new people do it because they're so desperate or I don't want to say the word desperate, but they feel like, oh yay, someone's going to join my team and she says she's interested, and then they talk about how this is such a great business, and they're actually convincing them to join. And then they never do anything because you didn't ask them any questions. You didn't find out what they want. You didn't find out when they have time to do this business.
Right.
You didn't challenge them at all, and then they literally come in and they do nothing, and that's just a body, and that doesn't do any good. Well, it may do you a little bit of good if you're a team leader and it buys you like a month.
But that's the thing.
But that's not,
a month.
that's not, yeah, that's not good. You want people that want to be here. And I always tell people, I'm not going to convince you. I want you to come here because you want to come here and you want to be successful, and I'm going to help you.
Exactly. So talking to somebody sincerely about the business, and a lot of times you'll see, we see it all the time. Every company sees this all the time. It is September 30th and it is 12 o'clock. And I see a person has one recruit, but they have like $3,500 in sales. What is happening that evening? Mama and brother are recruited that evening, right? And they're super excited and they promoted to team leader, which is awesome. And we celebrate that. But then what happens at the end of October? They don't have the volume, or even 3 months later, right? Once you get past that active thing. And then, you know, you feel like crap. You feel like crap and you feel like you are failing and I'm not doing well. Well, your intentions initially to promote were kind of shady. I don't know. Not shady is not the word, but you know what I'm saying? They just were not, it just wasn't the best situation for you. And it's not the best situation for them. And then what happens is you have these bodies and you're like, do something, do something, do something, do something. And they're like, I just like the wine. Leave me alone. And then you never hear from them again, right? They like disappear and stuff. So be intentional, right? Telling them, asking questions. Why do you want to do this? Right? And like Kelly said, you're not here to convince anybody. I used to say to people, you know what? We're here to see if this is a good fit for you. If it is, it is. If it's not, that's okay. People don't like things taken away from them, for one. What do you mean? If it's okay if I don't do it? So just having those real conversations and sincerity. Again, it doesn't matter what they want to do with their business. And I have no problem recruiting somebody that says, you know what, I want to do like maybe 1 or 2 a month. I think this would be fun. That's awesome. But we're going to make sure those 1 or 2 a month are great. Right. And if somebody really is like, I just want the discount and this and that, well, they can just be your customer. You can help them out and do whatever you need to do, but don't just recruit bodies. And sometimes we don't know they're going to be bodies. I will say that. And people talk a big game and I'm going to be a millionaire and then you never hear from them again. And that happens and that's reality. But just kind of in the beginning, your word choices and how you're talking to people can make a big difference. Not booking tastings because you are not asking people. Okay. So where do you ask? How much do you ask? And why is it important? So thinking about when you're asking people. So if you're at a tasting, right, that's where you would ask, where you're asking at events or whatever, and you're asking people. So like I said, sometimes I'll talk to people and say, why don't you have enough tastings on your calendar? Are you just, you can't, or you won't, or whatever? Or what are the activities? How many people are you reaching out to every day about booking tastings? Well, I did 5 in the last 2 weeks. Well, that's not going to get you what you need to do. So again, it's really being intentional and booking those tastings. So thinking about this as you are doing your full service checkout or at your tasting, which is the biggest place where it can start, is are you asking everybody? And again, how much daily are you actually being consistent in diving into your business every day? And obviously, why is it important? If you don't have tastings, you don't have a business. That's the reality of it, because that is our heart of our business. Unless you're strictly like somebody that's like, I just do one-to-one sales, which is a little exhausting to me, but it can happen. It's an option, obviously, for your business too. Okay. Not booking tastings because people say no, but then you don't coach with your upline to help you get there. So this is another thing. So people say, I ask people, but they say no. Okay, well, what are they saying? Right? Why did they say no? Are you actually working with your upline? So Cindy, she's like, I called 10 people, and she calls Sabrina and goes, they all said no. Okay, so Sabrina probably would say, well, why did they say no? So again, being open to that communication and coaching with your upline, that's just like working with your upline to recruit. You need to work with your upline in order to get those tastings on your calendar. So what are they saying? And communicate that with your upline, or communicate that with your peers, or post it on the wine therapy group and say, I asked 15 people this week to hold tastings. They all said no, and these are the reasons they said no. Like, everybody's here to help with that stuff, and there's somebody out there that's having that same struggle. So biggest thing is learning how to overcome those obstacles and objections. Once you become a full service checkout master and you understand how to handle objections, I think you're unstoppable. It's just that ease of talking to people when they say, I'm just too busy, knowing exactly what to say that comes out of your mouth. And like I said, next week we'll talk about do recruiting interview, and we can do more like kind of objection things. But if you don't have enough tastings on your calendar, I want you to think about why. Is it because you're not booking them because you're not asking, or is it you're not booking them because people are saying no? And that they're both actually easy to overcome, right? Just two different things. I need to ask more people, or I need to communicate with my upline what's going on so they can help coach me, because they came before you. And everybody on this call, you have, you know, people that have been in this business a long time, between Kristen, Kelly, Sabrina, Kendall is a lead on here. She's a trip achiever. She's an up and coming. She knows how to overcome objections. So you have so many fantastic resources. It's not like Kelly and Kristen's been here like 6 months, or Sabrina, which is awesome. So you're using them. And really it's interesting because think about it this way. When you go to your upline and say, this is what this person is saying, and this is what the struggle is, you're actually helping that upline too, because they have to think, oh, what would I say? And you may say, you know what, I already said that. Well, then we have to think about, well, what else could we say? Or sometimes you just got to let it go. They just weren't going to book. But talking through those things actually helps both sides too. And it keeps really your skills super fresh too. So there you go. Those recipes for disaster. My recipes. And another reason, I got to shrink this. Oh, go this way. Believing you can, right? So what is that quote that says, either if you, you can or can't, you're right? What does that? It says something like that, right? You can or can't, you're right. So
if you believe you can, and if you believe you can't, you can't.
There you go, right. And that's right, I can't do it. So how many times will you hear somebody say, I just can't do it. I can't do it. This isn't my thing. I can't, you know. I think everybody can push through something if they want to do it bad enough. If they want something bad enough, they're going to be able to do it. So you cannot believe that you can't. You have to believe that you can. And you have to fake it till you make it. And when I first started in this business, I did not understand the word can't. I was going to do it come hell or high water. It was just going to happen. And they were going to teach me everything I needed to know. And that was just how it was. I had made a decision that this is what it's going to be. So I want you guys to make the decision too that you can do it. So those are your recipes for disaster. So just little tidbits that I came up with. But I think all of it is true, and it's kind of every avenue of your business too. All right, so we're 10:49. We're going to hang up in a minute. But who's drinking wine? I saved the best for last. Did you drink all your wine already?
It's all gone.
It's all gone. What were you drinking, Sally?
I had stashed a bottle of Dusk Evening Star.
Oh, which is now sold out, right?
Sold out.
Okay, so if you had a customer that really loved that wine, what wine would you recommend?
Well, I would have gone Trilogy, but that's gone. Or just about gone. I'm trying to think what's on the menu right now. Look, I have a menu here. Probably the 7 Petals blend.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 7 Petals blend. All right.
It's not as, the 7 Petals blend's not as kind of spicy or smoky as the Evening Star, but for what we have available right now, that's probably where I'd send them.
Okay. All right. Good to know. There's a sales skill for you. Versus losing a sale, right?
Right.
Where they go and how to help them. So, all right. Just one wine tonight, because I guess we should do it in the beginning. So when everybody's drinking. All right. This was the action steps. So the recruiting challenge that we're doing, I think y'all saw that. This is the spreadsheet. If you don't want to do a spreadsheet, you don't have to. Honestly, you can sit it in Word document. The most important thing I'm getting out of this is seeing you have the tasting dates, how many guests are in attendance, and how many people you personally asked to join the business. This to me is like, these two sections, B and C, are the most important. So if you sent me just your names and you're reaching out to them or whatever, that's fantastic too. I want to see that, but I want to see this. I want to see what's happening at the tasting, what's going on there. So do this, and people that turned in their stuff to me. And if I missed anybody, let me know. Oh, this was the biz op. So I think Sabrina, I know Sabrina was on. Kelly and Jacqueline were on. Was anybody else on the BizOp call? No? Was that Donna? Or was that me raising my own hand?
No,
I-
yeah, no, I was on it.
I was on briefly, not for the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. And I know Jacqueline had a guest. She reached out to me after about the person that was on. So you get drawings for that. So entered into drawing, and I'll add Sally on here, or Sally get an extra one. Jacqueline already has 4 entries because she did, she had a guest on, she had herself on, and then she has sent me her update every week. Sabrina has 2, Kelly has 2, Sally, you'll have 2. Kristen has 1 because she sent me that, and then Donna, I will add you 2. So I'm happy to give this to whoever, but I'd like more people on here too. So I want to do some drawings and give some stuff away, and then I'll send it to you guys. It's just to help you be accountable to your activities and being aware of what you're doing. So I want you guys to do that. So thank you guys for doing it, those of you who have. And that's all I have an hour later. Any questions? Anything anybody want to talk about before we
No,
go?
but this wine tastes really good.
What are you drinking?
This is a 7 Petals.
Oh,
Mhm. So we were just talking about that. Yep. Delicious. I could bathe in this. I could.
I'm looking forward to getting the new wines.
Oh gosh. I know.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I
Do
know.
we know when they're shipping those out?
No, I don't know. I always get mine around the 15th, kind of.
Yeah.
When I usually get them. So I don't know. I'm doing a wine tasting here next Thursday with the Vegas consultants. We're gonna do wine club tasting, so it better be here by then.
Oh, fun. Oh, I would think it would be by then.
I would hope so. Yeah. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
a
to
little
seeing-
bit later this month than normal for some reason.
I don't know why.
Because they're prepping to move and all that.
Yeah, everything's like literally they're moving the last weekend of September. Like yeah, it's like crazy. Yeah. But it's good. It's gonna be interesting. So and they may be moving the wine. I guess they have to wait till they had talked about moving the wine over first when that part was done. So that could be in the process now. I haven't heard. We have a call on Thursday. So I'll get a bigger update on what's happening. But the thing is was almost done when I was there. So it's happening.
Cool. Do we have any homework on this one?
Yeah, I want you to go back. Well, you continue to do the recruiting stuff, right? 'Cause that's for the whole month. The book,
Oh, that's right.
right? Really analyzing your true why and what's going to keep you in this, getting through the hurdles. Some more was this stuff. I can post the slides. A lot of it is kind of self-reflection. Are you coachable? Do you feel like you're open to stuff? How could you be more coachable? Or how could you help your team even? So looking at both sides, and then really where do you fall in the business? Making a decision, I think a solid decision on where you're at, and that sometimes it kind of relaxes. Well, and I know there's a spot between a business and a hobby consultant, but I still think if you're even, consistent in doing 1 or 2 tastings a week, you're trying to take your business pretty seriously because there's different levels of working your business too. So, but a hobby is not consistent, and you know what that means. We talked about that.
Okay.
So that's it. But I'll post the slides. Hi, Jacqueline. Now I see her head. Hey, Jacqueline, real quick, you said you read that book?
No, I've heard of it and it was on my list.
Oh, well, there you go. Check it out.
Yeah.
How long is your list?
How long is my list?
Yeah.
I can post it.
Oh, no. Well, okay. Post it because I need some other ideas when I have time to read.
We'll
it.
start with that
They
one.
take time to read.
Just start with that
Yeah.
one.
They
Let's
do,
start with the
Gary.
one. I'm horrible too, Kristen. I am horrible about.
Can I go back to so that picture? I think that saying is so awesome. But when I saw that on Facebook, it made me think of apricot juice. Am I the only one?
Which one?
Am I the only one? That wine glass that says you can't get to the top unless you don't fall to the
I
top.
thought of the rosé.
This one?
No, go back. No, the wine glass. The one you. That, does that not look like apricot juice?
Yes.
It is so thick. It doesn't look like wine.
You see the red.
Oh,
It's
that's
probably
the light coming through.
right.
Huh, okay. I'm having a hard time. If it was red, I could get it. If I was
It is
clear,
red. It's dark red.
it's so not red. That's orange.
No, it's orange.
It's orange.
It reminds
All
I
about
don't-
the quote.
You guys need new computers. 'Cause your screen's
It's orange
dark.
on my phone
There's
too.
red over here, but there's orange right
Nope.
here.
It's
Focus
dark
on
red
the
on my brand new computer.
Is it?
Yep.
You have a brand new computer because you're cool. I need to get a new computer then.
No, I have a brand new computer because my old one wasn't compatible with the new printer I had to get because my printer died.
Sorry. Tangent, but I'm like, that looks like apricot juice. And I'd like to drink it, but I'm sorry.
You're good.
It's not the wine. I'm seriously was saying that earlier this morning.
All right.
In my books.
Are we good?
Yeah, I don't have a list of business books, but I do have I have a list of other books like novel books because that was one of my goals this year, Kristen. So I'll help you keep you accountable. One of the things that made it really easy for me to transition, first of all, I love to read and I know it's not as fun for you. So for me, it's easy to do. But when I stop and eat lunch, which I force myself to do more often because I don't do that very well, the phone goes off, everything, electronics go off, and I have a book in front of me.
So you eat and you read?
Read. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. I used to, I don't know. Okay, keep me accountable. I need to do this. I've been talking about it for about a year now, right? Yeah. So I got to do that.
All right.
Cool. That's a good book. I'm
right,
excited
guys.
about
I'm off to Pilates and
that book. Have fun with that.
I will. I love my Pilates. I need a stress reliever.
I did a Pilates yoga thing just because you love it so much, Shelly.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I'll do yoga any day. Pilates sucks ass.
Oh,
My
no.
French people, but literally my abs are killing me. I walk around like this all the time. I'm like, that's it. I'm never doing Pilates
That
again.
means it's working. That means it's good.
It was not fun.
You're so funny.
Way too much abs.
Are we still recording? Oh, God.
Yeah.
We're still
Sorry.
You're good.
right.
That's what happens when I drink wine. I'm going to stop now.
All right, go drink. All right, guys. Have a
I
great
know,
night.
that's a really- Sorry, we ruined it. Okay. No, that was a great call. Shelley,
Yes.
thank you.